Welcome, adventure seekers. We're uncommon voyagers, otherwise known as Mandy and Greg, Brisbane, Australia's almost empty nesters, about to turn our midlife crisis into an Italian escapade. Our mission? Spend 2025 getting ready to make the life-changing move to Italy. We'll be juggling home renovations, Italian house hunting, planning slow travel, prepping our kids to survive without us, and cramming our entire life into 2 suitcases. If you love big dreams with a sprinkling of chaos, we'd love for you to come along for the ride. Hit subscribe. It'll be bellissimo.
Hi guys, welcome back to Uncommon Voyagers. This week I would like to talk about Pennapiedimonte. So it's one of our wish list towns that we really love. We were super lucky to be able to visit Pennapiedimonte in person when we were in Italy in October, and it's definitely one of my favourite places. So the reason that both Greg and I loved it so much, I would say the reason that puts it to the absolute top of the list of why we would love it is the views. It isn't called the balcony of Abruzzo for no reason. It is absolutely beautiful. There's a few towns that really set themselves apart in terms of views, and Pennapiedimonte is one of them. So I've got a few reasons here. I'm actually going to look at my list today, so forgive me if I look down, but I don't want to forget some of the reasons that we really love it. So I would say that the first one that I talked about is the absolutely, literally breathtaking views. So that is without a doubt number one reason. The other reason that is really appealing to us is the slow-paced lifestyle that you would have there. However, there are pros and cons with that. So when we say slow-paced, we don't mean glacial. So, we want a little bit of action, and we do want some sort of infrastructure. I have talked about this in a few of our other videos where, it's important for us to have, public transport if possible, and some bars in terms of cafes, not bars from the Aussie sense where we're going to get drunk every day, but yeah, just have some basic infrastructure at the very least. I would say that it's a double-edged sword with Pennapiedimonte in that if you want a slow pace of life, then this is the place for you. However, in terms of infrastructure, I would say that you wouldn't necessarily get what you need in Pennapiedimonte itself. You would probably have to go to Gardia Grell. I hope I said that correctly. That's probably the closest biggest town, which if you have a car isn't a big deal. It's literally like I think it's about a 10 minute, maybe I don't want to say 5, but I'd say about a 10-minute drive away for anything that you need. But if you're looking for a place that has, a few bars or cafes or restaurants to choose from, unfortunately, Pennapiedimonte would probably be wiped off your list. So the reason that it is very appealing to us is, as we've mentioned before, we're absolutely on a budget, and you can get some amazing places with amazing views in Pennapiedimonte. So the property prices, it's probably one of the most affordable towns as far as I'm concerned in terms of what you get bang for your buck. And the fact that these places, these homes, are actually built into the rock. So, there are some places some houses there that have been done up where they've actually worked around the rock formations that are in their home and made it part of their house. So it's absolutely, historical and beautiful, and there's lots of opportunity to make a beautiful home there. And then on top of that, you chuck a roof terrace in on top of that, and you have an absolutely beautiful home. But again, if you want to stay in your home 24/7 and just look at the views all the time, then that's fine. But if you actually want a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more action going on in the town that you're choosing, Pennapiedimonte would not be it for you. My understanding is that the population there is about 445, that's 445, which definitely falls below my criteria of, I'd like around 1,000 if possible, or more. I keep fluctuating. So this is the reason I'm talking these out in these videos, is to kind of get it right in my head as well. Like, by talking about it, I'm kind of cementing in my head what my criteria is and what my deal breakers are. So, for Pennapiedimonte, there's the lack of infrastructure, and there's also No, I don't think public transport comes up into the town, is my understanding. You would have to go kind of down to the bottom of Pennapiedimonte, and there's buses and whatnot there. But if you're wanting to be where the views are, you would definitely have to have some way to make your way down and back up because it's very steep. So that's something to take into consideration. I guess what comes along though with a population of 445 is definitely like an authentic Italian village life. You know, the people that live there, I imagine, would all be very close knit. I will be honest, while we were there, we saw no one. So we were a busload of people that showed up in a couple of minivans. You can't get up there in a traditional bus because the roads just aren't wide enough or big enough. I don't even know if they're strong enough. Oh, they're probably strong enough. They've been there thousands of years, but you know, it is more that, you know, we came up in these minibuses, and the only people in the town that we saw were the people that were actually working on the house that we were having a look in. Now, I'll show you that house today. I'll pop that in here as I'm chatting, as I'm talking. I absolutely loved it. And I took some video from the top floor window and actually said, I'm truly in heaven. Like, this is it for me. I've found my place. Unfortunately, it was well outside of our budget at 97,000. I believe it was 97,000 euros, including fees and taxes. Now, things had been done. The people that we actually met in there, I think they go and buy Italian houses, do them up a bit, and then sell, you know, flip them or sell them in the traditional sense. There were things there that I just kind of went, oh, you know, I would do it for the views, but there's one bathroom over like 4 stories, and it was kind of tucked away in a stairwell area, which was kind of odd. So there were things there that I was like, I don't love this, but there was definitely a lot more work that I would have to do. And at a price point of 97,000 euros, which, as I've already shared with you guys, I tend to just double things. So, you know, if you include fees and taxes, then it's probably wouldn't be exactly double. But let's just say you wouldn't get out of it for less than 180,000 Australian dollars just to purchase. And then there was a lot to do. But I tell you, the views. I mean, if you're just wanting to pay for a view, this is the place. I mean, there was no roof terrace, but the views just looking out the windows, I mean, it was just crazy. I'll pop it in here into the video anyway. Normally I would say amazing food and wine and all that sort of stuff in terms of, you know, why you'd want to live in one of these towns, because it's Italy after all. But again, no real bars, cafes or restaurants to speak of. I believe there's a restaurant at the top of, like, up further, because they have some accommodation there, and they also have an attached restaurant. But just for me, I prefer something with a few more options. So, but the other thing that I really love is how hilly and steep it is. So for health benefit wise, you'd be forced to walk everywhere every day, and you'd be forced to walk some steps. So pro for me is that, you know, I'd be forced to be active, and there's lots of beautiful walks, and you can go and be in nature, and you know, there is a walk that you do that's further up. I'll pop it in here because it's totally gone out of my mind and I didn't write it down. But there's a famous walk that people come to do that's there. The con for that obviously is if you're someone who has mobility issues, then this is definitely not the town for you. It's not, you couldn't do it, even for the views. There's just way too, it's just not workable. You'd be looking at flatter towns that'd be better for you, like the bigger ones, say Sulmona. Popoli was pretty good lower down. So there are different towns out there, Vitorito. So if mobility is something that you have to take into account, and as we get older, that's something that we will have to take into account too. So I kind of want to future-proof us to an extent. But yeah, I don't know that if you have mobility issues, if this is an existing issue that you have, that Pennapiedimonte would be the place for you. So yeah. So it has its pros and cons. I like that it would keep me active because there'd be a gazillion steps or, you know, a hill that I'd have to walk every day. But if you already have an existing issue with mobility, it definitely wouldn't be for you. So I just think the other thing is too, and this is the whole reason for us looking at any of these towns, is the cost of living. So by Australian standards, it's just, even though we have to, you know, like I say, double everything, it still works out cheaper than any way that you could retire in Australia currently. So, we would be saving money. If we moved to Italy today, even if we had to double everything, so if we had to stretch our Aussie dollar, so, even if something there cost, €2, it's costing us $4 Australian, well, that's still cheaper than what we could buy it for in Australia. So, we were going into cafes where they had, a cappuccino for $2. Now, technically, that isn't exactly €2, sorry. That isn't exactly double. So again, show me somewhere, or it'd be very rare in Australia, that you could get an amazing cappuccino for $4 Australian. You can't. And that's just going into a cafe. I'm talking about cost of living in terms of just buying fresh fruit and vegetables and having access to all that sort of stuff. It's just so much cheaper. I've done some research as well on things like, the electricity and gas, and obviously it gets colder. Well, we're in Queensland, so it would get much colder in their winters, obviously. Even that just is, people are talking about getting €65 electricity bills. And I'm like, I've got to tell you, in Australia, we're in a house, a good sized house, but we're in a house with 6 people living in it. And we just got through our Queensland summer, and our electricity bill, I'm not kidding you, and this is just from running air conditioners, and I'm a real stickler for closing doors and windows and doing all that sort of stuff and not running the aircon if we don't have to, although I don't like to sweat. But our last bill was 3,000 Australian dollars just for the summer, so that was for the quarter. So yeah, cost of living, to me, even though we have to, our dollar doesn't go as far when we have to convert to euro, there's no comparison. So although this isn't specific to Pennapiedimonte, it's just something that I like to talk about in my videos. The other thing is too that, it's in a beautiful place. It's kind of tucked away in the Mayala Mountains, or on the side. I'm probably getting my geography wrong. I'll put a little map up. It's 45 minutes to the ski resorts, it's 45 minutes to the ocean, and it's still really well placed for slow travel. So I've mentioned before, Greg and I can only spend 90 days in every 180 in the Schengen zone. Italy's part of the Schengen. If you're not sure what that is, go and Google Schengen zone. But essentially it's 90 in every 180 days. So we're really well placed anywhere in Abruzzo to continue to slow travel once we leave. However, if we do our 90 days in Italy, we're very limited in Europe. We couldn't go anywhere else in Europe. We would likely go UK like bound, or we might go to Asia, or we might go to, say, Montenegro if we wanted to just wait out our time to stay close by and then come back in for our other 90 days. We haven't nutted that out yet, but again, this is just something that we talk about when we talk about having a base in Italy and how that would affect us in terms of getting around everywhere else. So Pennapiedimonte would be absolutely no issue at all. It would just be the day-to-day things that we would have to take into account, such as infrastructure, cafes, things that you have to be realistic. I don't think anyone's going to stay homebound. You wouldn't go to Italy to stay homebound. So, you want your home to be comfortable, but there are just certain things that I think you have to be really, really careful about when you get blown away by an amazing view. I'm still considering Pennapiedimonte, but only under the proviso that we actually get a car. We have to have a car to live in Pennapiedimonte, and as people who've seen our other videos would know, that's something that I'm still tossing up as to if we want to commit to or not, because that's another expense in terms of insurance and even how we would do that, because you have to be a resident of Italy to buy a car there, so you'd potentially have to buy somewhere else, but that's a whole other video that I might do. So yeah, Pennapiedimonte, beautiful, beautiful walks, beautiful views, a lovely town, very small, 445 people at last count I'm aware of, as far as Google's telling me, but definitely a contender, but something would have to absolutely blow me away in terms of, I would feel like this is the most amazing thing, an amazing place I've ever been. So I'm still fluctuating between wanting those, the day-to-day amenities that I'm used to in Brisbane, and getting up on a Sunday morning and potentially walking down to a bar and having a leisurely breakfast and things like that. So or cappuccino or coffee or cornetto, which is, I'm learning my Italian, which is Italian for croissant. So yeah, it's just those little things that I have to take into account. Anyway, have a little look. I popped some pictures in of the home, which has actually sold since we were there in October. So Dave from A Home in Italy has actually had a video up on YouTube. I'll pop the link in here in the description. So Dave did do a video on this a couple of months ago after we'd seen it in October, and it has already sold, which I'm not surprised because it absolutely is beautiful. But I'll pop that in, and then there's another contender that I actually really like because of the views. So I'll pop that in, have a little look. Check out my other videos on the other towns. I'm slowly making my way through all the contenders. It is a process, and as basic as these videos look, it's actually not that easy for me because I'm a bit of a technophobe to get them all together. So it's a bit of a process, but I'm hoping that you're enjoying them or getting something out of them. I know I'm not giving a lot of information on specifics in the towns, and I'm hoping to maybe expand on that a little bit, but really it's more just about the houses that we've seen and what we like and what me personally, the pros and cons are. If you wanted to go do a deep dive on a town, you can absolutely do that. Google is your friend. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I hope that if you're enjoying this, or you just want to see what comes over the coming months as we prepare to actually go to Italy, you continue to watch and support. It's free to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, you'll get notifications when the new videos come out. I'm trying to do them once a week at the moment, and I'm just managing to do that. So I don't think I'll be able to do any more, and quite honestly, I'm not going to do a video for the sake of doing a video unless something's actually happening. Then there's really no point. I'll pop up our laundry reno soon, but now I'm getting off topic, so I'll save that for another one. But yeah, I'm hoping to do once a week, but I'll only do it if there's something to share. So subscribe, like, tell your friends, do all that sort of stuff. It really help the channel grow. But yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.